Alright, welcome back to Coffee in the Spire. Today I kind of wanted to do an analysis video of all the things that went right in that victory run. If we go here, we can look at all the detailed stats from the run, and I do this a lot for my own benefit. I stare at the screen a lot on many of my losses, going over what I could have done better, the mistakes I made. So I thought, why not, at least for my own benefit, take a look at one of the wins and see, what did I do right? What was working? So, if that's something you would enjoy, then let's get to it. So I think first, I'm going to take a look at the relics. We definitely leaned heavy on relics this run. Nothing wrong with that, unless you're going for achievements, not using relics. So I think some of the more integral relics, definitely floor 6, we picked up this courier. That allowed us to buy more items from the merchants because they were 20% cheaper and restocked instantly. And we definitely made use of that for removals and purchasing other relics from the vendors. And then right after that, on floor 7, we got the singing bowl, and that was huge. That allowed us to add two hit points to our max HP instead of taking cards, and we used that 11 times for a whopping 22 extra hit points. And this was huge because we took a lot of damage on this run. I took a lot of hits. And then, of course, going in order, we got the Sling of Courage, which during my run, you might have noticed that I was confused on how that worked. I'm getting old. Sometimes that happens, So, the Sling of Courage during my run, I first thought, I'm like, okay, that adds 2 strength each combat. Then I thought, well, no, that's not working, so maybe it's just the first turn of each combat. Actually, it adds 2 strength to elite combats. That was still a big boost, but not as good as I was thinking it was originally, if I would have just stopped and thought about it. So then we got the Bag of Marbles, which that added 1 vulnerable to all the enemies at the start of the fight, making them take more damage. The first boss chest, we picked up one of the big pieces for this run, the Wrist Blade, which adds 4 more damage to my shivs for a total of 8 damage on those shivs. And that's huge, as we were abusing the hell out of Blade Dance for shivs. And so then we went to the merchant and we purchased this Snecko Skull, which would come into play later with our Venom card, adding 1 additional poison to every poison that we apply. So then from there, where did we go? The next important one would probably be the Bronze Scales. It's pretty self-explanatory there. It just gives us thorns. They take 3 damage every time they hit us, and that's always a good thing. Little offense if you're going to be taking some hits. Let's see. We defeated the bandits and got this red mask. And the red mask applies 1 week to all enemies. Weakened creatures deal 25% less damage. So the red mask actually helped in tandem with the Bag of Marbles. So whenever we start a round now, they're dealing less damage and taking more damage. So those two by themselves are really good. Together, they're awesome to allow us to put that debuff on the enemy straight away. And then I think from there, really, the rest of these relics, they helped. The War Paint upgraded a couple cards. 14 block at the end of the turn 2, really good. This allows us to take 1 less hit point every time we take damage. And then, of course, the Clockwork Souvenir adds artifact to avoid a debuff. We purchased the Nunchucks, which every 10 attacks you gain an energy. We're attacking a lot with our shivs, 4 shivs for every 1 energy on the Blade Dance, so that came into play quite a bit. We got this Blood Vial. That was kind of late in the run, but, 2 hit points is 2 hit points. I think we got to use that once or twice. I really don't think this didn't really come into play. I hate pronouncing that word. That didn't really come into play, I don't think. So these were supplemental. They definitely helped. And then here we have the Unceasing Top, which the top came in clutch on the last turn of the Time Eater fight. It kept our cards going and allowed us to just go ahead and kill the boss, where we still had our fairy in the bottle at the time. I think, what did I have? I had like 5 hit points left. So we had our fairy in the bottle. He was going to do a couple attacks, which I believe the first one would have killed me. The fairy would have brought me back, but I think that second hit was probably going to kill us again, leading to another defeat. And the top kept pulling cards out for us that allowed us to go ahead and just finish him off that turn and not even take the damage at all. So, believe this one came in to be the hero at the end. So go ahead and look at the cards now. The Envenom. This Envenom was one of the keystones. That ended up, I believe, was a turning point in the victory, because if the enemy didn't have block, every shiv we hit them with was applying 2 poison. And a lot of turns we were doing 4 to 8 shivs, sometimes 12 shivs. That could be up to 24 poison we were adding each round. And I did not realize how powerful this would be in adding poison. I always just go straight for the regular poison cards. But this card is amazing. So awesome. And then, of course, we had these bad boys right here. Blade Dance, which we upgraded to give us 4 shivs. We had 3 of those for a total of 12 shivs we could pull out. It's amazing. And then we removed some defends and replaced them with these Cloak and Daggers, which gave us the block like the defends, but also the upgraded ones gave us 2 shivs as well as the block, which that came in amazingly too. And then these backstabs, I picked up these backstabs. They're innate, so you start the match with them. At the end I had 2, so we were starting right off the bat with weakened and vulnerable enemies and dealing 22 damage. Just bam, bam, right there. No energy cost, guaranteed 22 damage at the start of the fight. That was awesome. Let's see, some of the defensive cards we had. We had the Caltrops that we added later. It's not really a defensive card. I guess you can kind of think of it as a defense and offense. I mean, it doesn't help you avoid damage, but it does apply that damage when you take damage. So I guess it's more of an offensive. It's just an awesome card. And then we had Dash. This was great when we upgraded that. It's 2 energy, but man, when you're getting 13 block and dealing 13 damage for your 2 energy, it's hard to complain about that. And then Infinite Blades. Obviously, you get you an extra shiv each turn. Let's see. I mean, this was good. I mean, we could have probably been okay without it. I don't ever remember it being a saving grace. And we ended off with still 3 of our regular defense. And neutralize, I'm never going to remove that from a silent deck. That's just a great card. Add more weak, do a little damage. Doesn't cost you anything. When we had this Curse of Bells, yeah, whatever. We could have removed it, but we didn't. It's not one of those curses that actually hurts you. I mean, it does take up a card slot, but it's not weakening us or anything like that, so that's fine. I think that's really about it. I mean, this madness, all of my cards were like 1 to 2 energy anyway, so this madness, I think every time I used it at the end of the game, it just took a 1 energy card and made it 0, which it was, so as a trade-off, it was a nothing. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. We did a lot of removals to end up with just these 22 cards, and these Blade Dance, Cloak and Dagger, and Venom, these were our workhorses. That was the foundation of our deck. And then let's see, where is so this one right here, this event, the Mind Bloom, where we decided to fight the slime boss from Act 1, that really showcased the strength of this build when we killed the slime boss in 1 turn. That felt really good. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. That was a really cool moment. And then, of course, our boss fight. Yeah, we ended up with 5 hit points left. Ended up taking 93 damage total. So that singing bull allowed us to go ahead and just stick our face out there to get smashed in and take those hits while we deal out all the shiv damage. And that was just really cool. So I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to look at. I always find it beneficial to myself to look at what I did. Mostly, like I said, on my mistake runs, I'll look at this screen for quite a while. So it's nice to look at a victory like this. I might go ahead and do this for the other builds. I've enjoyed it. I hope if you watched it, you got something out of it too. I'm not going to put this in place of a regular episode. This is going to be supplemental that I'll drop after victories when we get them. So, all right, that has been this analysis of our silent victory. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.